Welcome back, dear viewers. Today is the day that we are going to start on the backyard. Check it out back there. See all that nice fresh dirt? Come check it out. I'll tell you all about it. I find myself with a bare dirt backyard. Aside from its usefulness and aesthetics, what is so bad about bare dirt? Well, let's talk about water flow. Our backyard slopes downhill towards our house, and with bare soil, no plants to slow down the pace of water, the water does come down and pool right next to the house. And while the backyard is graded pretty well, there is some fine-tuning that can be done around the house to keep the water from pooling near the foundation. With bare dirt, there's not a lot of absorption that can happen quickly. The ground here is machine graded, so it's fairly compact. It's had heavy machinery driven all over it, back and forth. There's no organic matter in the soil. There's no real soil life or roots left to create that sort of sponge-like absorption that you would see in soil with really good soil structure. The structure here of the soil is definitely broken. With no organic matter and no soil life and disturbed microbiome, it's just not going to absorb water very well. Bare dirt is also exposed dirt. So it's exposed to the wind and the rain and the sun. That's erosion and evaporation. And there's little to no protection for soil life right at the surface level. So it can't rebuild its soil structure very well. Not to mention that because it's uncovered, we're going to be encountering a lot of weed seeds. Particularly in my backyard, crabgrass is going to be a problem. We also have a lot of other non-native and some native weeds. Things that we don't want growing in our play space and workspace in our backyard. So let's go back to compaction for a minute. With really compact soil, and now this is compact soil for sure, it's going to be hard for plants to establish here. Clearly there are some pioneering species that will be able to get a hold just fine, but that's not necessarily what we want in terms of the usefulness of our backyard. In order to get grass to establish, in order to have a nice full and healthy lawn, a compacted yard, a compacted area is going to be really hard for the grass to establish. Before my backyard was bare dirt, we did have a lawn here, and it wasn't a great lawn. We had patchy grass, lots of weeds, spots with mud. It was on the list of things to renovate. In years past, there had been a driveway that had looped all the way around the house. That had been taken out. At least part of it, the part that crossed through the backyard, had been taken out. But the soil underneath it was never addressed. So there's still a pretty good layer of gravel, and it's still very compact from heavy use. So even before my backyard was in the state that it's presently in, the whole area needed to be renovated. If you have been watching my videos, or if you'd like to go back and watch a video, last summer I planted some sunflowers in the backyard to test their ability to break up and aerate the soil. I think that worked pretty good, actually. So, how did I get a bare dirt backyard? Over the winter, we needed some emergency infrastructure work. This involved digging a big hole with heavy machinery. It displaced a lot of soil and killed the existing lawn. Being that this happened over winter, we had to wait for the settling of the soil and for better weather before we could regrade. Well, today was that day that we were waiting for. Earlier this morning, the work was completed to regrade and re-level the area to a machine finish. And now it is up to us to fix our backyard. In order to do that, there are a couple of steps for this project. The first step is going to be to give the soil surface a finish. So that includes perfecting the grading and water flow, evening out the soil surface, and removing the tire tracks and rocks, making it nice and level. Not just level across the whole of the backyard, but without small divots and rises. And we need to fluff the surface of the soil so that it can accept the seed that we're going to put down. That's the second step. To apply seed. We're going to be using oilseed radish and perennial ryegrass in order to help us establish our lawn and recondition and rebuild our soil structure. Both of these germinate quickly. They will work to hold the soil. The radish, in particular, will alleviate the compaction and help rebuild the soil structure, bringing back organic matter into the deeper layers of soil, as well as aeration. They'll both also help fight weeds and cover the soil to keep the top layer of soil healthy and allow soil life to return. Also in this project, we need to rebuild this small patio that had to be taken up for the infrastructure work. It will look much like this one, except that it's a couple bricks longer, comes out a little farther. In order to do that, I'll need to remove some of the soil that's here to get it level with the current patio. Make sure the soil is tamped down, and then reset the blocks. And part of this project will be to make a longer plan of usefulness for this backyard section. How do we want to use this space? What kind of elements do we want it to have, other than just a big lawn space? How are we going to use it? We'll be creating that plan as we go forward in the future. There's a big storm coming in a day or two, a big nor'easter blowing through with lots of snow and rain. Whether we'll get a whole lot of snow, I don't know, but it'll be a lot of water. So I have to get as much of the grading and leveling done as possible so that I can control the flow of water. I will also be able to use this storm to see where I need to do a little bit more finishing in terms of the surface, if there are any little puddles or ridges. It'll also help settle the soil after I move it around a little bit. And I have to get as much of that done as I can today and tomorrow. Should be a good video. Better get to work. So I'm really excited to bring you along with me on this journey. We're going to be doing lots of projects back here this spring and summer. Thanks for watching, and keep watching to see what happens here.